Welcome to Constance Messmer. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to kind of circle around and recap a couple of things that I think are important. And then I'm also going to touch on mindfulness and meditation. And I just want to reconnect with you in these ways. I think it'll be helpful going forward. All right. So I hope that today's time together will be fruitful, and I look forward to sharing with you. Remember, the way this podcast works is that I hope that you're starting at the beginning and working your way through along with me, because the lessons build one upon the other. And so far, while we've been focusing specifically on the soul perceptions, we've looked at clair sentiment, when it's an emotional feeling that we're registering in the body from a soul experience or registering on the soul. We've looked at clair sensation, where it's a physical feeling. And I love differentiating those two because there is a difference. And we've looked at clair olfaction, which is the ability to smell psychically from soul experience. Clairgustance, which is taste, yeah. We've also touched on clairaudience, which is the ability to hear things from the soul's perspective, the soul's awareness, the soul's knowing on the inner ear and the externally. And we've recently gone through clairvoyance, the ability to see things through the realm of spirit. Each time I gave you exercises to work on, and I hope you have been working them because they help to strengthen each of those muscles, if you will. And all of those have been just like kind of a brief look at. Believe you me, there's more. And so as I go further along in future podcasts, we will put those to use. And those are each of those segments that I did are foundational pieces to go forward. And then I'll extrapolate further on them as the ways that your soul perceives the world. And so I hope it's been helpful for you. There is one more clair, if you will. It's claircognizance, but I'm not going to touch upon that now. I have reasons for my methods. I'm going to touch upon that one after I tell you about empathic connections. And that segment will be next week, next time we get together. But I just wanted to recap for you now that I haven't told you everything I know. So about all those exercises that I'm really inviting and encouraging and hoping that you're doing, I asked Spirit, so how does finding a toy in the house do anything beyond just being a game? And Spirit was so beautiful. They went into this whole story of like, listen, it is like the whole Karate Kid wash on, wash off. When you need it, it'll be advantageous on down the line. But it was also like, listen, you can either learn math on the chalkboard or you can play math games like blocus and chess and all these things, or cribbage. You know, it is really good. Well done, touche. It just helps build the muscles of each of these areas so that when you go to use them for your own personal needs, you will have these skills at hand. So, you know, finding the toy in the house for some might be just as fun as the headhunter finding the right person for a job, or you finding the right job for you. You know, you can realize when you're going through the want ads list, you can use your soul to discern what's worth pursuing and what's not. And you can also ask your guides, even though I haven't gotten into full on talking to you about getting messages from spirit per se, or your guides or angels, which we will dive into. But you could definitely set the intention and say, you know, today I'm wrapping myself in the light, and I really want the help of the angelic realm or my guide that is surrounding me and helping me find work because I need to find work and provide for myself, my family, or whatnot, or it's time to change jobs. So you can set the intention for these beings of light to help you. They totally want to help you. And so I invite you to take each week the games that I give you for soul development and then kind of work them out to areas in your own life that you could use some help in, some arenas of finding things or seeing things around people, stuff like that. All the things that we've gone into. But I just thought that was so lovely when I was like, all right, Spirit, how can finding a toy be anything beyond a game? And they're like, well, first of all, it's fun. It is a game. It will heighten their awareness and they will learn the difference between hits and embellishments and where their strength lies. Certain areas of soul might be really strong for them. Others, they want to work to develop and how they need to put into practice the exercises so that they can build these areas so they can be more fully alive. And I was like, okay, well done. Love you, my little helpers. Mindfulness is completely being in the present moment. It is part of our repertoire of embodied learning, being in the moment of our experience, right? This helps us in our ability to respond to situations around us and to react appropriately based upon what we're picking up mentally and emotionally and physically. And therefore, it can create a profound effect on mental and emotional health. Meditation like Vipassana or sitting that I had gone through before, where you're just sitting and noticing, these experiences, these meditative practices help to train our mindfulness by focusing on inner and outer experience. If you could, the goal is to eventually get to 24 hours, 7 days a week of a meditative state of mindfulness, right? Just being in the moment, not really regretting the past or planning the future necessarily, but being in your full experience right now. You can move into deep listening and compassion without judgment. When you're fully present in the moment with them, then you can really give them your time, energy, connection, and ear, And these are beautiful gifts because then you're not worried about what you're going to say or anything. You're just being with them and can respond accordingly. So what happens is your meditative practice that I've encouraged you to do in previous podcasts, they invite you into being, really, in that in-breath and out-breath. And it's about feeling those breath sensations, not really thinking, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. It's about being in those breath sensations. And what happens is you kind of drop into a non-doing, a state of being, yeah? The aim of meditation, again, is to be fully present in the moment, building then the mindfulness. And living in this moment, you become more fully alive. So you really don't miss your life, right? You're present in yourself, with your feelings, with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your mind, with your physical sensations. Your focused attention is on the moment, right? Whether you choose to do this type of mindfulness practice or even a meditation practice, moving or sitting, you could be fully present in your garden or in a public garden, walking through and enjoying the sights and smells and not thinking outside of that experience or your workload or your to-do list or your troubles, but being in the garden, being present. For meditation, I know I'm bouncing back and forth between mindfulness and meditation, but I'm just going to say this. For meditation, you can have any practice, like any posture. If you want to sit, if you want to lie down, whatever you need to do to be comfortable, right? And as always in my work, don't be attached to the outcome. Just sit and be aware. This might be hard to string a few moments together of present awareness as opposed to the busyness, but just work with that. It's the mind. The mind is, the organ of the mind. I've compared it to a muscle before. It's about retraining it to just be in stillness, especially in this busy world, right? And that's why I encourage you to do practices like Vipassana, where you focus on the sensations in the body. And then also, too, I've encouraged you to be in touch with your breath throughout the day. If you're sitting in a line or sitting in traffic or amongst other people and you're feeling and picking up their anxiety, return to your breath. In breath and out breath, a few relaxing breaths. This is their stuff, their trip. You don't have to engage or let it be a part of you or let it infiltrate your experience. And it's about exercising these muscle moments throughout your day so that you can be present for you, right? This is not an easy thing. This is not spiritual practice is called practice for a reason. Mindfulness takes practice. Meditation, a daily meditative practice, whether for a few minutes or a few hours, takes dedication and motivation, right? But to me, it's about really showing up for you. In those moments when you're working with the breath or realize that you need to kind of decharge off of someone else's experience, maybe you're sitting with a group of people that just kind of rile you and you have to come back to yourself to know how you want to respond. It's important to take a deep, relaxing exhale to just rekindle that connection to yourself. And if you could just capture these moments of awareness, how does my body feel? Is my heart racing? Am I feeling, pulled or pressured? All of this, not just in your day-to-day interactions with people, but I'm also talking about then, therefore, your connections with spirit. This will help refine your sensorial self so that you can be aware of outside influences, how friends or family or associates make you feel, how the news makes you feel. But it also, not only just like what turns you off or what upsets you or what frustrates you, but it also helps you find what you love, what feeds your soul, what's lifting you up. And working this practice then allows you to be more in tune and more in sync with yourself. So yes, working with me in this way is an emotional practice, is a spiritual practice, is a physical practice, is a mental practice. It's all part of you becoming wholly embodied and wholly alive. Listen, I've shared with you before, I'm really fabulous in spirit realm. I can go in my mind, like I can hang there forever, right? I can hang in the soul vibrational space or observe my mind. Being in the body's tricky. That's my journey in this lifetime. And so, sometimes spirit says, listen up, Constance, this one's for you too. So this one is for me too. I have to make it a daily practice to be present, to see kind of, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What thread do I want to follow? What thoughts are bombarding and not helpful? What thoughts are good? All of these things. But I just invite you to capture these moments of awareness because it will help you in your day-to-day life as much as it will help you in your spiritual, your soul. So today's homework, if you haven't already started, is to incorporate maybe Vipassana at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. Remember, I said I like to often use it as I'm falling asleep, or I pray myself to sleep, talk to my angels, or send out vibrational prayer of love and light to whomever, countries, people, whatever. But back to the homework. It is to allow space in your spiritual practice, your daily spiritual practice, for meditation and mindfulness. Whether you're just sitting in stillness and you're being present in the moment with the in-breath and out-breath, and just being present to what's around you and watching the birds, or sitting on your own, feeling your body in the chair, and just retraining your mind to be here now. Or also, maybe both, also incorporate a time for Vipassana. And then really, truly, the goal is to take that throughout your daily life, is to notice when you're in your world and in your routine, any subtle sensations that are hitting your body, whether in interactions with other people, or with social media, or with going through your day-to-day life, noticing how it feels to be in your body and subtle sensations on and around you. And then also, too, bringing that breath, that relaxing, deep exhale breath throughout your day. That's your homework, bringing the mindfulness and the meditation into your day. This is really important, my friends. It's really important because it allows you and helps you to be fully present. And so you have to do it. You can't. Do you remember, like in school, I was like, can't I just learn through osmosis? Do I have to do the homework? Same. You have to do the homework to integrate the experience so it becomes you. All right. Love and light. As always, my work is to encourage spiritual growth and health. I hope today's time together has helped you. And I hope you're able to take what you've learned today into your daily experience so that it can enhance your life. If you've enjoyed today's session or think others can get something from the podcast, please share the love. Don't keep it a secret. Tell your friends, family, and associates, and be sure to tell them to start at the beginning and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I totally appreciate you, and I am so glad you are doing this to help make the world a better place. Have an awesome day, and thanks for tuning in. Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this episode with Constance Messmer, we'd like to encourage you to continue your spiritual journey with this next episode.